Hey guys, welcome back to I Will Go Down with This Ship. Today I'm going to be diving into the gritty, wild world of Yellowstone and talking about the show's true heartbeat for me. And that, of course, is Rip and Beth. I'm obsessed with them as a ship. I have been ever since my husband and I first started watching the show. And let's just be honest, if Yellowstone were just hours and hours of Rip and Beth, I'd still be here glued to my screen. Okay. Like, honestly, if, like, no offense to anybody else, no offense to any other ships or whatever, if the show was just Rip and Beth and just following them and their relationship and their trials, whatever, I'd still watch. I'd still follow it. Like, I would be all in for Rip and Beth, period, full stop. With the new season coming up, I can't stop thinking about all the twists, drama, and cowboy chaos waiting for us. But what keeps me hooked season after season? It's Rip and Beth's story. No offense to the other characters, they're all great. But for me, Rip and Beth bring this depth, this fire that feels totally unique. And it inspired me to write my book, Deceit and Desire, which I'm about halfway through right now. And there's something magnetic about them, right? Like they pull you into their intensity and they don't let go. So, why are Rip and Beth so unbreakable? Let's dig into why they're so special. Beth and Rip didn't just start with an I love you and like they don't have a happy ending in sight. They've been through heartbreak and loss and honestly some really dark stuff, but I'll be real with you, I'm living for the angst. I live and breathe it. They've, you know, I mean, Beth carries so much pain from her past. Like, I don't want to get too deep into spoilers for people who haven't watched. And Rip, well, we know he's got his demons too. And yet they've found each other, they've come back to each other, and they just fit. It's not about perfection for them, it's about acceptance. And I think that's what I really love about them. Like, they love each other despite all of their flaws. They see each other 100% fully, scars and all. And that's the core of what makes them feel so real. And I just, I just love them. Like, I'm obviously obsessed. Rip and Beth's relationship also captures what I think Yellowstone is really about. And it's not just about cowboys and land wars. It's about loyalty, survival, and the idea of home in a world that can be brutal. Rip and Beth bring that theme home. They're each other's safe place in a world that feels dangerous. It's like no matter what happens with the Dutton Ranch, they've got each other's backs, and that's what matters. And can we talk about their imperfections, circling back to that? Because that's part of what makes them so iconic. They don't have this glossy, perfect romance. They argue, they're messy, they're really messy, and they both have this wild side. But there's something refreshing about that, right? They're unapologetic, they're raw, and they love in a way that feels totally uninhibited. Beth's fierce and almost reckless personality is the perfect match for Rip's quiet but intense loyalty. I love that they're perfect match for each other. They're like puzzle pieces that just fit. Now, with the new season around the corner, I can't help but wonder where the writers are taking Rip and Beth's story. Will they finally get some peace? Let's be real, unlikely. Or is there another storm coming their way? Probably. And I know Yellowstone isn't the kind of show to let anyone just ride off into the sunset, but can we get them a little bit of happiness, please? I'm begging you, just a moment of calm, or maybe some scenes that dive even deeper into their bond. I want to see more of those quiet moments between them where we get a glimpse of their softer sides and they get some happiness in between all of the drama and angst that we live for. Rip and Beth's love is so iconic. in a way that reminds me of some other epic couples, but with a raw Western twist. They're like if Bonnie and Clyde had a little more self awareness, or if Heathcliff and Catherine actually worked through their issues and figured out how to love each other. There's this wildness to them that makes me think they'd be each other's, they'd be each other's person, and they'd choose each other even in another universe, in another life. I think they would choose each other over and over again. And it's not just romance, it's destiny. And I love that about them. And let's be real, we are all so invested, or at least those of us who ship Rip and Beth, let me be clear. We're also invested in them because they give us something different. They're not following the usual romance script. They're a reminder that love can be intense and passionate and like rough, and like not rough, but like rough around the edges, and like it can be, a bumpy ride and have its ups and downs and not be like the prettiest, easiest, shiniest story ever told, but still be worth it. I think we all want a relationship that sees us the way Rip and Beth see each other, where we can be fully ourselves, even the messy parts, and the other person still chooses to love you, even like when you show them the ugliest parts of yourself, and they're still gonna pick you. They make it feel okay to be a little broken, a little wild, and know that there's a person out there somewhere who's still gonna choose you and love you because you're like that. So, what about you? What is it about Rip and Beth that pulls you in? Are you as hooked as I am on their story? And what do you think is in store for them this season? Do you have any fan theories? Let me know in the comments, and let's keep this Yellowstone conversation going. Because no matter where the show takes us, I'll be here rooting for Rip and Beth all the way.